And welcome to Toxic Hustle. My name is TrajicK Jeffrey. This is a part of Toxic Hustle Labs. I just wanted to do a quick update while I'm working on some code. I just decided to record this one thing. I've been watching what's been going on in the market, and I'm thinking that this peak might have been this surge. I think it may have came early, or it was pushed early, but within 2 to 3 has been the common thing. We're going to get a dip. We already had it here. It didn't show up within 2 to, but it's typically within 3 or on the zone, right? Typical within 3 or on the zone. Except for right here, which is April of this year, we did not get the dips that were supposed to happen, but we did get dips within 3 here, right here. We got this major drop right here on the week, right? So on the week, we've been getting them. Right here, we didn't get it here, but it came within, see what I'm saying? So within 2 to 3 of these zones. Now, yeah, that could be considered coincidence, but again, if we go back in time, you can see this yellow here, this green got a pump, but we did get a dip there. Green, we got a pump, but we did get, where this was a surge, we got a dip. So, yeah, it's not perfect, right? It's not perfect. It's not going to strike every single time. But these are patterns. And within 2, those patterns seem to play out. That's just the way it's been since 2017. This is why it's called the seasons of Bitcoin. So I've got a dip here. We've got next week, we've got this run up. Again, I'm waiting for this run up to happen. I'm hoping this wasn't the run up. I'm hoping that this smacking its head against this purple line at 115 and change, almost 100, oh, actually 116. So it's smacking 116 wasn't the run up. That's what I'm hoping, that this wasn't this. But it might be this, because I learned a lot during 2021, and that is, if you don't have the cash in the economy for spending on things that are speculative like Bitcoin, while gold is running up and silver's running up and other commodities are running up, then you've got to look elsewhere. And then if I have Bitcoin and I lose my job, so we're going to get into where this zone, why I say this zone is probably going to play out the way it always has. Like, people will say, oh, this is different. I'm here to tell you it's not. Everybody says, oh, well, we're waiting for an altcoin season run. No. They're waiting to see just how high they can get it and keep, or just how much they can keep you in before they bury you. Right? They're going to leave you to hold the bags. I told y'all weeks ago, I'm, for the most part, out. I still have some skin in the game with crypto and Bitcoin, but I'll buy low and sell high. I'm not buying anything in this zone, especially right now when we're looking at people losing their jobs. The market doesn't like uncertainty, and that's where we are. Things are uncertain. So my goal is to keep y'all abreast of things. That's been the biggest goal of mine since I started doing what I'm doing on the channel, which was when I started talking about crypto. I did not, you can go back, look at all the videos, I ain't deleted none. I did not sit here and pump anything. I always said, hey, from the beginning, hey, is this a possibility? Hey, do I think this is real? Hey, what's going on with this, that, and the third? I question it. Here's what I'm questioning. Do I think, and this is what you should question. I want to give you all the thoughts to plotting this out. If this is the cycle and these dips happen every single cycle, well, I've shown you in the older videos, we can go back and do that. I want to keep on this. And then you have people saying that there's more job layoffs coming. If I have more layoffs, and you're saying, oh, in November, there's not going to be any money that flows for people to buy things to eat, you know, as far as like anybody that's getting support, they'll have to do a bunch of steps to prove that they're working and trying to find employment. Gotcha. Whatever. My thing is that if I have this much uncertainty, why would I believe that these aren't going to play out? No. Now that I understand what the economy is, according to 2021, that's when I started studying it. I've been looking at it for years, but I started studying it hard when it comes to things like Bitcoin. Not for any other reason, just for things like Bitcoin. What is the economy telling me? And in 2021, the economy told me there was no liquidity to be able to push this up any higher at the end of the cycle. The cycle would be going crazy by now. It is not. Which tells me something. These will play out. Especially as people who hold Bitcoin have to sell it to pay bills, to pay off credit cards. They ran to credit cards before they went to cash out their crypto. So what do you think they're going to use to pay off their credit cards? If they can't get another job, and that's another problem. Are people employing? I'm watching animators lose their job and can't find any work. People that could find work before. I'm watching artists who are working for comics have a problem finding work. Everybody's starting their own projects, but what happens when that becomes oversaturated? Oh, I'm just going to start my passion project. Okay, who's going to fund it? Oh, the people will. The same people that are losing jobs? What's their why to support you while they're struggling? Do you think they have time to be on social media to care about seeing your video to even know that you exist? Same goes for me. What's my why? I'm showing people how you're going to work in the future by leveraging these tools to pad out. Like the same way I use Photoshop when everybody said you're not a designer if you're not drawing on paper. Same way I wasn't a music producer when I was doing digital and everybody was talking about, oh, you don't have hardware, you're not a real producer. And they were crapping on people like Ninth Wonder and Hit Boy who are using FL Studio. It's the same thing that's happening with AI. I'm a music producer. I can play my beats. There's plenty of beats I've sold that did not reference or utilize any AI. I've been using AI on the back end, i.e. mixing, whenever Isotope came out with their plugins to be able to mix that way. I had the first version of that. So we've been using it for years. Now we're using it on the instrumentation side. Why? What did I tell y'all years ago? I told y'all that if you use these sample libraries where you and everybody else can sample, you're going to have a problem with copyrights in the future as it becomes a digital watermark and everybody's using the same samples. At some point, you're going to have to use something else. So you can still go buy that beat. You can still go buy instrumentals, but you got to worry about whether or not the producer you got a beat from, whether or not if all the royalties will clear. When I say royalties, will some collection agency put a copyright strike on your music video, whatever, on, let's say, YouTube? Will it get a copyright strike because you don't hold the intellectual properties for it? The digital watermark properties. That's an important thing in the future. And nobody's taking that into account. That means more and more businesses in the artistic field, as AI gets more and more entrenched into how we work, that leaves you doing more for less. It's a race to the bottom because the prices of everything are way too high. We need to cut it. Everything is way too high. Something has to give. The system has to crack. Things have to drop. They will reset themselves. And they've been calling it the Great Reset. They've been saying it for years. What does that have to do with crypto and Bitcoin? I'm letting you see fundamentally the justification of why these will play out. And I don't want you holding the bag for somebody else. Not within an earshot of me. I can't do that. I am my brother's keeper. So I'm warning you, if I were just doing the music side, look at what's about to happen in music. Then you look at what's going on with video and Vimeo, VO3, right? So Google's video thing, VO3, is being used. People are paying $200 a month. What do you think why they can pay that? Why do you think they can pay that for so long? They're already getting customers. So when that starts entrenching itself into the video industry because they've been needing to cut costs and they've been outsourcing it to other countries, now they can say, all right, we'll just let the market reset itself. The market will set the market price. And if a bunch of people like myself are making videos for our clients, reducing the cost of them having to do a physical shoot, we're still getting work. And if I'm then getting money, I'm paying my bills. Do you think I'm buying crypto? Hell no. I don't give a damn about the future, whatever it could be, and how it's going to be $1 million coin. What does that matter today? What does that matter when you need to eat today? I am telling you, they will sell. For those of you that are new to the channel and think I'm talking some crap, this is 2024. We can't really count this because it's on the cusp of the halving cycle. So we can't do that. We need to go back to 2021. That was the last time this was the same portion of where we were in our economy, or the cycle of Bitcoin. The same way, this is the same place we were in the last cycle of Bitcoin. I want you to see the past so you can understand what's going on in the future. I showed you the December and those two reds. Here's that purple. I want you to pay close attention to how far this drops. And notice the strike dates. Bang, bang, bang. This one didn't pan out. But then within it, look, bang. So there are dips that happen. Look down here, bang. It goes further down. This is 2021. Let's go back to when this looked like the same thing the last cycle before that. We're going to go back to 2020. Now, I don't have any arrows back here because I was using a different program, so I won't have the arrows. I'm just going to look, let's say 2017. Let's go back to 2017 is the last time before that. So we're going to keep going down. 2019, 2018, 2018. Hold on, we're almost there. Here we go. 2017. Now, way more money in the cycle, so it's going to look different. And again, I told you, I don't have any arrows, so you don't see any arrows. But I can tell you, here's November. Boom, there's December. Now, it rode all the way through November. Again, the cash fluctuations were not the same back in 2017. There was way more money in the system. There was way more boom happening and things that were going on in tech. But I want you to see that after December, which day? The second week of December? So this is the first week of December, second week of December, first week of December, second week of December, third week of December. Crack. Well, we didn't get our November dip. We still got our sell-off. And then what did it sell off to? It sold off. This is December. Here's the first week of January. Here's the second week of January. Here's the third week of January. And there's February. No, actually, hold on. That's wrong. First week of January, second, third, fourth week of January. Yeah. So fourth week of January. Okay? We're going to go back. Let's scroll this so I can just quickly get back to where we were. There's those two January's marks. Here's the December mark. First week of December, second week of December. And then I still got that January, even though there's been times where it dropped off. I'm just showing you in the past, in December, there is a dip. And then we go back in the past, like I showed you, from 2021, November. Which one? That's the first week, second week, third week. First week, second week, third week of November. Fall off a cliff. And you see, even all the way when we got from February, there's that February one, like I showed you earlier. And then you have this. Right after this, boom, it just runs off the cliff. Like I showed you in the other shot. Around March, April-ish time frame. Drop. March. Drop. Why is this thing playing out over and over the same way? Drop. Drop. Big drop. Look at that. Big drop. For that November dip. It didn't happen here. Why? It is 23. I don't know why. We didn't get our major dip in November in 23, which is relatively off. But we did get it here. It wasn't huge. I mean, it did drop all the way down, but it bounced back. 24. I can't say it was pre-halving cycle. That's just weird. I think there's people were flooding money in. But yeah, so after everything that I've shown you, I don't want to make this a long video, but after everything I've shown you, this is what I want you to concentrate on. I've shown you in the past that these play out. I've shown you this. I need you to concentrate on this being potentially viable for it to happen again, especially with the lack of liquidity. We do not have liquidity in the market right now. So please, y'all, if you are too highly invested and you are not willing to wait for the next halving cycle of 2028, if you don't want to have to wait till 2028, 2029, because 2029 will be the run-up. If you don't want to wait that long, I would not be holding anything right now. If, like I said, I'm waiting for one more thing to happen, and that is we still have this week, next week. We still got next week for a run-up to happen. And then I'm trying to be out this week. So the first week of November, be out. I always said first week November, second week of November, be out. Especially on the back end of the halving cycle. Halving cycle was last year. You're going to get, the pump happens this year. November dip, you want to be gone. If you notice, this has been the high. It's tried. 1, 2, 3. It got rejected 3 times. That's why this fall was so big. It never really touched the line here. If we just make it bigger, see, it never really touched it. It broke through it here. So that means, boom, we were above it. It didn't do it. So 1, failure. 2, failure. 3, failure, fall. This line had not really been tested. Because if, I can't really see, yeah, we look here, this green line didn't really touch it. So where do we have touch? We have failure here, 1. We have failure here, 2. We're currently in failure here. That would be 3 touches. I don't know if I want to count this one and if I want that next one to be the next week just because I want to be, or no. I just know that if this is counted, or even this one could be counted. So now I can't even say that. 1, 2, 3 failure, or is this already a failure drop? Hold on. 1 failure here, 2 failure here, 3 failure here, drop. So it did do the drop. So we might be at a retest. Hold on, we might be at a retest, y'all. 1 failure here, 2 failure here, 3 failure here, drop. Okay, so hold on. We may have a retest here. And now this may be 1 failure here, 2 failure here, Or is this an actual drop? This was a drop. Yeah, so this is drop. Yeah, so it would be 1 failure here to break through, 2 failure here to break. No, it didn't even attempt here. This is, all right. So this is what I'm seeing. This is failure number 1, potentially. This is failure number 2, potentially. Next week may be the 3rd try. And if not, then it fulfills its presence with that being a super drop week. We're doing this live. So I'm just working through this with you just so I can also see it. Because I've got plans for where I'm going to sell. Like, I still have to wait till next week anyway, so it really doesn't matter how I feel about it. So I can tell you anything I want. I still have to wait probably around here before I can completely cash out. Unfortunately. I've got things that are staked, and it's like Ethereum that's staked, and I need to get it out to be able to cash out. And it takes 54 days to come out, so I may not be cleared by the time this is. I might be clearing right when this happens, so if it drops next week, it's not in my benefit. So me telling you, hey, potentially this might be the drop week, but I'm hoping for it to be a run-up week, just prepare yourself in case it is, right? If we cannot support here, you're going down to 103. If it is not supported there, it's going to 103. 103 does not support. You're going down to 93, close to 94. It's about 93.8. I don't round up. I want to see the breakpoints for where they sit. I put it right where it lay. Right here. This is the break point from back here. And support's always got to be retested. This really wasn't tested. See, it came up, it broke down, it came back up, it hasn't been tested again. So we haven't had another test of the support line. It went up. Well, see, it ran up. It hasn't come back and tested that line. So you could be, with all of this, where do you think it's going to end up being before January? Then remember, we had that February drop off too. I don't want to think that it goes to 82. But if you look at 82, tell me where you see a support there. I'm not laughing because this is funny. I'm laughing because this is sad. This hasn't even really got full support. Like, I got maybe a support line here. Right here. This is really the support line. Where are you? Right here. That's where it's actually bouncing from. I don't have a line here. So there's your support line. So you're looking at 80,000? Because it never came back and touched this one. I mean, it bounced and it went back up, but yeah, I guess you could say it was tested and it made its support, but that's really shaky. That's really shaky. So we already are looking at, like, look at this. I could make a case for 85 as a return, but like I said, if we don't get any, see how we have a big ass gap right here? Like, I got a little bit of supportage that could probably break at 86. But that's weak. Like, we have a huge run up and we have a gap. Gaps need to be filled. Straight up, gaps need to be filled. That's just a law of the market. Not my law, I don't want it to be so, but that's the law of a market. So, gaps will be filled, and we have a huge gap, pause, right here. So, what does this mean? Again, if we're looking at the finances, we're looking at the economy's not good. So we got to take that into consideration first. Economy's bad. Are things going up in price? Not so much, because everybody's cutting back. They're already maxed out on debt. They've already liquidated some of their assets. Believe me, I know. So what is the next logical step? Well, businesses are laying off. So what then happens? Because the businesses have a debt problem, just like people have debt problems. So businesses need to save money. So what are they doing? They're getting rid of their employees and masking it under where it's AI. It's not. AI is not that smart. I use it every single day. Believe you me, it can do work, yes, but it's not taking your job. Go look up on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram may have it. I don't know how good their algorithm is. Go up and look Amazon robots glitching or Amazon robots stuck. And you're going to find a bunch of robots that are just, they can't get past each other and they're doing the same moves without being able to get around each other. This is what we're dealing with. It is not artificial intelligence. It is machine learned training. A machine has learned some data and it can do something based off of it. It sounds real cute and glamorous and it's causing psychosis. I'm telling you right now, it is not that heavy indeed. It's not that good. And again, I use it for multiple things. It can help me augment to do more things. It can help me give better service to my customers, but it can't do the work for me. And it cannot look at all the patterns of life and all the stresses of life and put those digits and quantify them for humanity. It can quantify it for what it can think and be opinionated based off the past, potentially, if it can remember it. Because remember, AI has a memory problem. So, again, if you are hyper bullish or listening to people who are hyper bullish telling you that some altcoin pump is about to happen, they're a liar and the truth is not in them. They are not. And if they even know what a crypto winter is and have lived through at least one crypto winter, I'd say two, just to be on the safe side. If they've been around and they've lived through two crypto winters and they're not talking about it, they are naive or they're lying to you. I'm not going to do that. I'm not putting that on my soul. I need you to know the truth. The truth is, I don't think the economy is going to hold crypto up. I believe people are going to lose jobs, which they are. I believe that a number is pretty substantial. We're talking anywhere between 50 to 60,000 people losing their job. Do I think a percentage of that were workers and Amazon and everything else? Do I believe that they were around and were in the last potential crypto cycle? Maybe. Do I believe that they held on? Probably anywhere between 3 to 5% of them. Well, do I believe that they're going to need that capital come November, December when they can't find another job? Absolutely. If they had the runway of some type of bank account stash, some type of savings to be able to ride out X amount of cycles of not getting an income coming in. And then when they go onto the market and they're seeing these jobs are literally just calling you in for the sake of calling you in because they're hiring from within because it's cheaper to keep her. It's cheaper to keep your employees who are already there than try to hire somebody who, if they can find something cheaper, they'll leave. You've got people in your business who are willing to take on more work for no extra pay. Good. And now most of these businesses have everybody right where they want them. Remember a couple years ago when everybody was jumping ship and you could just, they were having all these parties and drinking their lattes and having an hour meeting and you could watch their life and it just looked like they just aren't doing a damn thing. Them days are over. Them days are gone. Now, I'm scared to lose my job thank goodness I wasn't in that first pass early this spring. Thank goodness I wasn't in the second pass come summertime. Thank goodness. No, excuse me. Because right now it's the November one. I'm scared because they're talking about layoffs again. I hope I make it this time. Just prepare. Do not hold through the second week of November. Just my recommendation, because it's historically proven that it will beat you senseless. I didn't believe it my first time out, and you saw the way the charts went. I didn't know nothing about a November dip because it ran right through it. But I saw it after that. I actually knew about a slight November dip because I was talking about it in videos. Sorry. And we're going through them consistently. So please, if you are holding a bunch of crypto, I would not. If you are holding anything but Bitcoin, you should be out. Because Bitcoin controls the water, and this is seasons of Bitcoin. I follow the water. I follow the main coin, where the main liquidity is. All that other stuff is speculation for you to lose money. It's gambling. Oh, no, you're just a hater. No. I've been through this multiple cycles. I remember when we were going to get a crypto debit card that wasn't controlled by a exchange and or by the credit card holders themselves. That never came to pass. 2 companies were going to do that. Both of them failed. I was in a video game company the last cycle that they had gotten up to $1 and something. No, they had actually gotten up to, like, let's say 30 cents, 60 cents, 30 to 40 cents or something like that. I'm paying monthly for the servers. I'm about to cash all that out because it's making a penny. And when the market drops, it's not going to make a penny no more. So it makes no sense for me to be spending $50 a month maintaining a server to get a bunch of points to a gaming company that has not done anything this entire cycle. So once, and I've already cashed out, like I cashed out yesterday for the gaming company. Because I'm like, all right, you won't be around next cycle. So I'm going to cut my losses. I'm going to send whatever coins I've got that are on the exchange that I need to convert to my convertible wallet, and I'm cashing them out. Like I said, next week is my final cash out for at least all of the other alts that I'm holding. I'm going to let this pump up one more time, and then I'm cashing out all my alts. I'm not going to be a Bitcoin maximalist. I do believe that there are some coins, but again, next cycle will be based off of, hey, how does this effectively help my business? Not, hey, I got a coin that does nothing, I need you to sponsor it. It's, hey, this coin does this for my business, not just track my inventory. I can do that with a freaking database. And it's a heck of a lot cheaper. I can get a database for $1 a month and do damn near as many transactions as I want on that. Yes, it's centralized. I don't care. You got to give me a better reason for why I need decentralization other than the failure of the hard drive failure issue. Oh, you're going to lose data and you can decentralize it. That doesn't matter to me. The only thing that decentralization matters for is, hey, tracking transactions for things like for Bitcoin. That you can have permissionless / trustless. You don't have to trust that you're going to get your money. You don't have to trust that if I send my money somewhere, it's not going to go where it needs to go. You know it's going to do, the system's going to do what it's supposed to do. Any bad actors lose money or get kicked off the network. So it's not in their benefit to mess with the system. Now, do I think this system's going to last forever? No, because it's already doing things that they said Bitcoin would never do. Like, oh, crypto's always going to do this one thing and it's never going to go down on these things. Like, no, they're going down now. Oh, crypto always does X amount of percentage up. No, well, that's not how this works anymore. It's not based off of hyperbole. It's based off of economy being able to buy speculative assets. You're on all the business channels as a crypto enthusiast now. All the crypto channels, all the business channels, all the finance channels, CNBC, Bloomberg, all of them will talk about Bitcoin. That's something that wasn't happening years ago. Well, we have all that. Why hasn't it made any tremendous surges up? If you look at how Bitcoin used to surge, the percentage mark of how much would surge, and to what we've had as a bull run this entire cycle, don't get me wrong, it's still a good run. Here's the halving cycle. It went from here. Hold on, let's see if I can find a measurement. So at the halving cycle, this is where we were. right around here. Oh, opposite direction. Okay. Well, I mean, shoot, that's actually not a bad run. It might be more than that. Actually, hold on. It dropped. So we were right here. All right, so let's see. So right here, this is where we maxed out. Actually, that's not bad. That's still an 80% move. I'm sitting there going, well, it wasn't, this halving cycle was kind of garbage. The halving cycle did 80%. If you had bought right down here, or even if you had bought down here, like if you had bought down here, it would have been ridiculous. You bought here to here, that's 125%. So y'all, if y'all following the halving cycle, if you follow just this, you make the most amount of money buying low, selling high. Right? We went down, we go back up, now we're getting ready to go down. Purple, bong. So, my big thing for y'all is, look, it's getting ready to get close to the ending of this cycle. The cycle is what the cycle is. It doesn't give a damn about our feelings and how we feel about it. It is what it is. I've just learned to accept it. And I also learned how to maneuver inside this technology, which is, if I'm going to buy the next time, I think I want a premium price down here to potentially get 125% on my investment. Are you kidding me? And unlike all the other times, I believe that there's also going to be layoffs in January. I believe there will still be layoffs because I don't believe we have a fallback to the work that needs to be outputted. We're going to see the gig economy move into the office space. I'm already seeing Fiverr ads everywhere where people are just working Fiverr. And that's a race to the bottom because you've got to keep your costs low to compete to even get jobs. And just because you work for somebody and they were willing to pay that for you last year doesn't mean that this year they're going to pay the same prices if you haven't added more services. Or you're going to have to go out here and try to find a job in an economy where they're not looking for employees. They want workers that can output lots of work they may not even have an understanding of. Again, I saw a job where it was $20-something thousand for a designer, videographer, marketer, web developer, all in one. They wanted from X amount of weeks, like 16 weeks, maybe even less than that. It might have been 8 to 10 weeks. They're willing to pay $20-something thousand a year. I don't think it was for the project. I think it was for the year. So they're making somewhere in the line of $17 or something per hour, which you could get out in the street if they were still offering higher jobs. When you're noticing the salaries as far as the fast food jobs, when they were off, remember when they were offering people $25, $30 an hour to work those jobs? You notice that the latest entries are not that high. It's because all of those prices are going to come down. You notice that the restaurants are now trying to get back to those $5 deals of some kind? Yeah, because everybody's priced out. So if I'm looking at the economy and I'm looking at what these businesses are doing, they're lowering prices on food. Some of them can't lay off anymore and already done automation. Right, McDonald's? You've already done a lot of automation. You have the kiosks in there. You've reduced your workforce already. You've already done that. You can't go no further. And then some restaurants have tried to automate their entire process. And, you know, you've seen the videos of the guy sitting there trying to order 10,000 cups of water. Because, again, AI is not that smart. And you cannot, when you put AI publicly in the wild, you cannot imagine all of the vectors in which somebody might come up with to get that AI to do something or glitch out in a way that throws off the entire business. I've seen databases of code get deleted by the system and the company had to run back to Google to say, hey, this thing just deleted all of our stuff and is ruined, and they had to find a way. Google had to find a way to get their backups back. Mess up entire code, live code, with no backup. Do not trust that these businesses know what they're doing right now through this, because nobody has experienced the hint of having a new technology be able to think for itself and what that means when it's not practiced, when it's not implemented and thought out correctly, when you're not making tweaks to the failures you see by keeping whatever interaction with the AI simple, so that those points of failure cannot ever happen. AI should never be contacted directly by an individual. You should still be doing the same things you've always done with database systems. What is the permissions? What do you need to do? How do you roll this out? But businesses are not taking that into account. And for some, rather than saying, okay, I've made a mistake, come spring, we'll lay off more people to justify, hey, we needed to do this to save money. Not, hey, I'm as a CEO going to reduce my pay, and some of the staff have also agreed to reduce their pay, and some of the benefactors have agreed to reduce the dividend that we pay them so that we can guarantee that y'all are going to be safe and secure. Not one of y'all never heard anything like that ever happening. So since that never happened and probably will never happen, then expect the other. Expect that come January, mistakes that are being made with AI this fall will come to roost, and there will be more layoffs in January. Again, I'm talking about all of this because I am letting you know that when these two hit in January, there will be reasons for it. They will say everything. Oh, this bank failed, and this consumer thing failed, and community bank failed, and they were attached to crypto. No. Oh, they were attached to these assets. No. Ask yourselves, hey, since 2020, what has been the rate? They've been having a problem with their occupancy rates and keeping those buildings more than 50% full. Let's say it's 60% full. Right? Because everything above 60 is doing okay, not great. They would rather have a higher occupancy rate. But these buildings have been in the 50% and under zone for commercial real estate. Buildings are letting their workers today, right now, Monday and Friday, work from home. They're testing whether or not they need these people, and then they're testing how well they work at home. Now, some companies are pulling their employees back into their offices, sure, but some are using this to say, oh, well, your performance. We installed a new software and everybody updated that now we take screenshots, i.e. recall, and we can sit there and watch what you're doing, and the only thing we've seen, and here's a video, is just between these hours, your mouse just moving left and right. We actually have a folder system, and in that folder system, we've seen the files that you've manifested, and we could see that, you're not really doing any work. There's no documents for you. You've made no real edits. When we ask you to do something within maybe an hour of the meeting, then you jump on and do some type of notes. And even then, they're kind of weak and meandering because you really didn't do any research, and we can see that from the fact that your file system didn't do nothing. You didn't go on any browser, you didn't look up anything. Yeah, you did all of the social media not on your computer and laptop so they could see. You did it on your phone, and you moved the mouse left and right because you had a macro to do that, or some type of bot, or some people tied a fan to their mouse. But do you think productivity matters that you move your mouse, or that productivity is you contributed something to the organization? How many files do you create a month? How many files do you create a year? How many emails do you create a month? How many emails do you create a year? How many replies do you do to those emails? How often do you update code? How many lines of code have you entered? When was the last time you entered code? Traj, why are you talking about this? What does this have to do with anything? I am telling you, as they begin to lay people off, I am giving you justifications to why it's going to happen. Why these will fall. And again, I need it not to fall within these next 2 weeks. I need it to go up. But I'm telling you, if you have the cash, don't wait. Run. It might cost me, but that's okay. Because me telling you the truth means way more than me making money. And I believe there's people that are listening to me that are still holding on. Please don't hold it on. Let it go. Set it free. Why don't you, babe? For real. Please, please, please. I don't want you to lose. I want y'all to win. I am not in a position to win. That's my own fault. Or I would have been cashed out. I would have been cashed out here, like when I told y'all. But I forgot my staking. I forgot my Ethereum was being staked. So, gotta hold off for that. And Ethereum moves way faster to the downside than Bitcoin does. And doesn't rebound as fast. Even though it's doing well to hold itself up. No. So, I wanted this to be a very short video. It's way longer than it needed to be. I'm going to get this edited and get out to you. So, thank y'all. I just want to get this thing out so that you know how I feel about you holding things through this season. I already told you the season is over. It's about to be over by next week or the week after next. We only got 2 weeks left, so just get ready. It's going to be ugly. And with that, I am TrajicK Jeffrey on behalf of ToxicHustle Labs. Make sure you visit ToxicHustle Labs if you are wanting to learn what is going on with AI, how we are implementing it in our business and for our clients, and how we move forward in this next phase of the age of automation to survive adding more transactions to your business, to your company, and more visibility to your brand. Come on now. We've got to be visible in this digital age. So with that, I am out. Thank you so much, and I'll see you the next time. Peace.